So if portables are growing across BC, not just in Surrey, and despite what every politician says they've been going up for decades and decades, should we shift the conversation to if we can make portables better for students or radically change how we conceive of them? Producer Bridgette Watson has been looking at this the last week, has talked to some experts, and she's found some interesting things that could be done with the old standard portable.
I think shifting, Justin, is the key word here, the idea of reframing what a portable looks like. So I went to school K to 12 in BC, and I think I was in a portable the majority of those years. And when you sat down with your elite focus group of Surrey elementary school students and they talked about not all portables are created equal, that really intrigued me.
Our school has 3 portables. Oh no, 4. 3 of them are they're not as good, and there's a really good one it's called the deluxe portable, I think. But it's really good. I think it's as good as the class inside.
So if they were all like that, that wouldn't be too bad then?
No, that'd be good.
If they can see it, so can parents, so can teachers, so can school districts. So is there an actual way that we can level up portables from what they are now to something that could be better in the future?
Well, it turns out possibly yes. So in order to find the answer to that question, I reached out to an expert named Christopher Jiguetta, and he's an architectural designer from Hawaii who wrote his PhD thesis on redesigning the portable for a modern classroom. And the point there being that when portables first came on the scene, kids learned in classrooms much differently than they are doing so now.
Back then, schools were very strictly lecture-based, where student chairs and tables were pointed to one wall of the classroom, which is the teaching wall, and the teacher would just teach all day. There's no collaboration, no hands-on learning, no group discussions, which is what you pretty much see today. Students are learning from each other, students are interacting with each other, they're doing group activities.
Yeah, you look at what a school day looks like now in terms of learning compared to for us 20, 30 years ago.
Oh, settle down.
But it is different. And yet the designs haven't changed all that much. But I guess for specifics then, what is Chris talking about that could be done?
So he has quite a few models, but some ideas that he included and that we talked about were the ideas of walls that pivoted. So you could actually adjust modular spaces within your modular classroom designed to fit what the teacher has going that day. Ventilation is always a big concern when it comes to portables. So also this idea of window placement to create cross drafts, using slanted roofs that shade the classroom when it's high times of the day. So he had many, many ideas, but really making that portable space flexible is the key crux of his thesis.
And you can make a portable a lot more flexible than a $150 million big concrete building that's permanent. But I guess I can already hear school district financial officials saying the whole point of these portables is we don't have enough money for that.
Right.
We're trying to do things that are more financially sustainable in the short term. What's the argument against that in this case?
I think your argument is in your question there, it's sustainability. And so what Chris brought up was that you don't actually have to create a portable that is connected to your municipal systems, which works well in BC where we have many remote areas.
With enough solar PV panels, you can create something that's very independent, and you don't have to do much site work to get, sewer lines in. You can provide opportunities where you can collect rainwater, filter it onto a cistern tank. So there is a high possibility of these portable classrooms that can be really independent.
Right, so what Chris is saying there is that you could actually save on construction costs, and the classroom itself becomes a living lab for students. They get to learn how rain systems work, they get to learn about solar power, so their classroom is a learning tool in and of itself.
I mean, in theory it sounds sustainable, but it does really require, if you're doing this, a paradigm shift.
And I think that shift is what's really important, and it doesn't just have to come necessarily from the people who control the purse strings around portables and classroom construction, but also from parents and students. There's sort of a stigma about portables, and if portables were no longer just this stagnant model that we've seen for so long, then maybe that paradigm shift could happen.
All right, thanks very much, Bridgette.
Thank you, Justin.